Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Could your pocket change contain a treasure worth millions? Today, we're diving into a rare and extraordinary penny, the 1988 1-cent coin. While most of us think of pennies as just a small, insignificant part of our pocket change, some of them hold hidden secrets and can be worth staggering amounts. But the 1988 penny? This one's worth up to $28 million. Yes, $28 million. Before we get into why the 1988 penny could be worth millions, let's take a quick look at the history of the U.S. 1-cent coin. The penny has been an integral part of American currency since 1793. Over the years, it's seen several design changes, starting with the famous Liberty head, followed by the Indian head penny, and, of course, the Lincoln cent that we know today. Throughout its long history, the penny has undergone several changes in both design and composition. In 1982, the U.S. switched from a solid copper coin to a copper-plated zinc coin, which is what we still see today. But it wasn't just the materials that were changing, so was the way coins were being produced. The 1988 1-cent coin was minted during a relatively standard period for U.S. coins. The design on the front of the coin features Abraham Lincoln, as it has since 1909, and the reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial. There's nothing particularly unique about the design of this penny, but it's what you don't see at first glance that might make it special. While the 1988 penny seems to be just like any other regular cent you'd find in your spare change, a small percentage of these coins were produced with a unique error. An error so rare and valuable that it's considered one of the most significant finds in the world of numismatics. So what's the big deal with the 1988 penny? Well, some 1988 pennies were struck with a rare error known as a double die, and this is where things get interesting. Double die coins occur when a coin is struck multiple times, and each strike is slightly misaligned, resulting in a doubling effect on certain details. In the case of the 1988 penny, this error can be seen on the date, the word liberty, or the motto "In God We Trust." This type of error is incredibly rare, and when it happens, it can increase the value of a coin by thousands of times its face value. Now, here's where the story takes an incredible turn. Imagine you're going through a jar of loose change, and you find a 1988 penny. You might think nothing of it. After all, it's just a penny, right? But if you happen to find a 1988 penny with a double die error, you might be holding on to a fortune. A 1988 double die penny, in pristine condition, has been known to sell for as much as $28 million. Yes, you heard that right. This is because the rarity of such an error, combined with the growing interest in coin collecting, has created a market where this penny could fetch an eye-popping amount at auction. So how can you tell if you've found one of these rare, valuable 1988 pennies? Spotting the error isn't as easy as just glancing at the coin. You'll need to closely examine the details. Here are a few tips on how to check for the double die error. Examine the date. Look at the year 1988 on the coin. If you notice that the numbers appear to be doubled or blurred, you may have found a double die error. The doubling effect is often most visible on the number 8 in the year. Check the word liberty. A double die error may also show up on the word liberty, especially around the L and I. If the letters appear slightly off or duplicated, that could be a sign of an error coin. Inspect the motto "In God We Trust." The motto that appears above Lincoln's head may also show signs of doubling, particularly around the letters G and T. Rare coins, especially those with unique errors, have always been prized by collectors. The market for coins has exploded in recent years, driven by increasing demand for historical artifacts, investment potential, and the thrill of finding a hidden treasure. Just like the 1988 double die penny, other coins with errors, whether they're struck off center, have misaligned dies, or contain unexpected markings, can fetch huge sums of money. As with any collectible, Rarity and demand are key factors in determining the value of these coins. So, what would it be like if you stumbled upon a penny worth $28 million? For most of us, that kind of discovery seems almost unbelievable. But this is the reality for the lucky few who find these rare coins. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just someone with an interest in rare finds, the 1988 double die penny represents an incredible opportunity to strike it rich. In the world of coin collecting, the 1988 1-cent coin with a double die error is one of those remarkable finds that can change a person's life. What started out as a simple penny, produced by the U.S. Mint in the late 1980s, could end up being worth millions of dollars. While most 1988 pennies are still worth only 1 cent, keep your eyes peeled, because the next time you go through your spare change, you might just have a chance at finding the $28 million treasure. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more videos on rare coins and hidden treasures. Remember, sometimes, the smallest things in your pocket can have the biggest surprises. Could your pocket change contain something worth millions of dollars? Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, hold on, because the 1994 D1-cent coin has a surprising story and value that might just blow your mind. Today, we're diving into the world of rare coins, focusing on a particular penny that could be worth far more than the typical 1 cent you'd expect. The 1994 D1-cent coin, minted in Denver, has a tale that combines intrigue, rarity, and big money. But before we get into the value, let's take a quick journey back to the basics. The U.S. 1-cent coin, or penny, has been a staple of American currency for over 150 years. But what makes the 1994 D penny different from all the others? Well, there's more to this story than meets the eye. The U.S. 1-cent coin has undergone several changes throughout its history. Initially, the first pennies were made of copper, then switched to a mix of copper and zinc, and eventually to the predominantly zinc composition we see today. The coin's design has also shifted, from Lady Liberty to the modern-day Lincoln portrait that we're familiar with. Over time, certain years and mint marks of these pennies have become sought after by collectors. The 1994 D penny, however, isn't necessarily rare by itself. After all, billions of pennies were produced in that year. But here's where it gets interesting. So why is this seemingly ordinary 1994 D penny causing such a stir in the coin collecting community? Well, it turns out that some pennies from this year were produced with a rare minting error. Errors like double dies, where the image is stamped more than once, or misstrikes, where the coin was improperly pressed, can make a coin incredibly rare. And when these mistakes happen on a popular coin, like the 1994 D penny, the value skyrockets. Now, here's where things take a truly mind-blowing turn. The most famous 1994 D penny isn't just any error. It's a coin that could fetch up to $38 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny worth over $38 million. This isn't a fairy tale. In recent years, a 1994 D penny with a specific error was discovered, and it's expected to be worth an astronomical amount. So what makes this penny so special? The 1994 D penny with this error is extremely rare. Only 1 or 2 known examples of it exist, and that's what makes it so valuable. The error occurs in such a specific way that it's nearly impossible to replicate. Experts have estimated that a mint-state 1994 D penny with a rare error could easily fetch millions of dollars at auction. We're talking about a coin that was originally worth just 1 cent, but its unique characteristics elevate its value to an unbelievable level. This particular penny's rarity, combined with its historical context and the growing interest in rare coins, has made it one of the most sought-after pieces in the numismatic world today. So how can you tell if your 1994 D penny could be worth a small fortune? Well, spotting the error isn't as easy as just glancing at the coin. You'll need to look closely for specific signs of a misstrike or double die. Here are a few key tips. Look for doubling in the numbers of the date, the word liberty, and even the motto "In God We Trust." Check the mint mark D. Some examples have significant doubling. Point 3. Inspect the coin for any unusual defects, like off-center strikes or unusual distortions. If you find one of these errors on your 1994 D penny, it could be worth hundreds, thousands, or even millions, depending on the condition and rarity of the error. The demand for rare and error coins has surged in recent years. Coin collectors, investors, and even casual hobbyists are now constantly on the lookout for hidden treasures like this. The market for rare pennies, especially ones with unique errors, has grown exponentially. These types of auctions are where the big money comes in, and the 1994 D penny could be the next big breakout coin. Imagine this. You walk into a convenience store, buy a soda, and get a 1994 D penny as change. You don't think much of it until you later realize that you've just stumbled upon something worth millions. While it's rare to find a 1994 D penny with the right error, the fact that such a discovery is even possible shows the incredible potential value hiding in plain sight. So, while most 1994 D pennies are still worth, well, just 1 cent, it's the rare errors that make this coin worth considering for collectors and investors alike. Who knows? You could be holding onto a penny worth millions, and you wouldn't even know it. Remember, it's all about paying attention to the details. If you're lucky enough to find one of these rare pennies, you might just have struck gold, or should I say, struck copper. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more videos on rare coins and hidden treasures. And remember, sometimes, the smallest things in your pocket can be worth the biggest surprises. Last, what if I told you that a seemingly ordinary 1990 penny, one of the most common coins circulating in America, could actually be worth millions of dollars? Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, prepare to be amazed. This humble coin, with a face value of just 1 cent, has been known to sell for as much as $20 million. Before we dive into the story of the 1990 penny, let's take a quick look at the history of the U.S. 1 cent coin. The penny has been a part of American currency since the late 18th century, with its design and composition changing over the years. From the Liberty Head penny to the Indian head design, and finally the famous Lincoln Memorial penny, the 1 cent coin has a rich history. Throughout its history, the penny has evolved in both design and material. In 1982, the U.S. Mint shifted from producing copper pennies to zinc pennies coated with copper, a change that dramatically impacted their composition. While most of these pennies are worth just a cent, some rare examples have been known to fetch prices that are mind-boggling. At first glance, the 1991 cent coin doesn't seem too special. It features the well-known design of President Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, a design that has been used on pennies since 1909. On the reverse side, we find the familiar image of the Lincoln Memorial, which adorned the back of the penny from 1959 until 2008. While most 1990 pennies are still in circulation, some of them are incredibly rare and valuable. So what makes the 1990 penny worth a small fortune? The 1990 penny, like most pennies, was minted in large quantities, with over 7 billion produced that year. So what makes some of them worth millions? The answer lies in a rare error that occurred during production, an error that only a handful of 1990 pennies exhibit. Some 1990 pennies were struck with a double die error, a mistake in which the design elements are imprinted twice, causing the lettering and images to appear blurry or doubled. This error happens when a coin is struck more than once during the minting process, but the second strike is slightly off-center. The result? A coin that's incredibly rare and potentially worth millions. Double die errors are one of the most coveted types of mistakes in the coin collecting world. When a coin is struck by the same die more than once, the image or text on the coin can appear to be doubled. In the case of the 1990 penny, this error may appear on the date, the word liberty, or the motto "In God We Trust." Take a look at the date on this 1990 penny. Notice how the numbers appear to be split or doubled. That's a clear sign of a double die error. Similarly, if you look closely at the word liberty or the motto "In God We Trust," you might notice that they appear more than once. Again, a classic example of a double die error. Now that we know what a double die error looks like, how can you spot one of these rare pennies? Here are a few things to look for when checking your 1990 pennies. Examine the date. Look closely at the year 1990. If the numbers appear to be doubled or blurred, this could indicate a double die error. The 9 and the 0 in particular are common spots for this doubling effect to appear. Check liberty. Look at the word liberty on the obverse of the coin. If the letters seem to have a faint, duplicated shadow, that's another indication of the double die error. Inspecting God We Trust. The motto above Lincoln's head is another area to examine. If the letters appear doubled, you may be looking at a valuable error coin. So, how much is a 1990 penny with a double die error worth? Well, the value depends on a few factors. Most importantly, the condition of the coin. A 1990 double die penny in mint state, with sharp and visible doubling, can be worth upwards of $20 million at auction. Coins with double die errors are highly sought after by collectors, and the more pristine the coin, the higher the price. One of these rare 1990 pennies could sell for a fortune, but even pennies with slight errors can still fetch significant amounts. Coin collecting is a booming market, with enthusiasts and investors constantly on the lookout for rare and valuable pieces. The demand for coins with minting errors, like the 1990 double die penny, has skyrocketed in recent years, as more and more collectors realize the potential value of these hidden treasures. As the demand for rare coins continues to grow, the value of error coins, particularly those from well-known years, like 1990, is expected to keep increasing. This is why it's important to pay attention to your change, because you never know when you might stumble upon something worth millions. While the odds of finding a 1990 penny with a double die error are slim, it's not impossible. If you happen to have a 1990 penny in your collection or in your pocket change, it's worth taking a closer look. The value of a single penny could change your life forever. From a simple piece of copper to a $20 million treasure, the 1990 penny is a perfect example of how even the smallest things in our everyday lives can hold hidden value. So next time you're going through your change, keep your eyes peeled. You might just be holding onto a rare piece of history. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more insights into rare coins and hidden treasures. Who knows? You might just discover something valuable.